Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League is officially canceled. The last piece of DLC content comes out in just a few weeks, and that will be the very final piece of content. There is only one thing that they can do to remedy the situation and save this game, and that is to retcon the entire game. You have to go in this final piece of content. The only acceptable thing to do is to retcon the entire game and reverse the entire game so that it never happened. If they do not do that, this game is the worst game in superhero video game history, and I'll tell you why. Marvel's Avengers wasn't a perfect game, okay? It wasn't a great game by any means. But two things. One, at least it paid homage to the characters. At least it was trying to honor Captain America and Iron Man and these characters. They weren't actively trying to fucking ruin those characters. And that's what Rocksteady did. They went into this game wanting to tear down the Arkhamverse. They wanted to reverse the Arkhamverse, and they did many decisions to do that, and made many decisions to do that. And not only that, the reason it's the worst superhero video game ever made is because there's never been a game that has negatively impacted other games in this way. Okay? And you might be saying, this game has no effect on Arkham. And to some extent, I agree with that. Okay? Like, Arkham City's not a worse game because this game exists. Okay, I got that. But let's also be honest. I mean, they ruined the ending of Arkham Knight. The ending of Arkham Knight is now fake, basically. This is the ending of Arkham Knight. This shitty game where Batman is unceremoniously capped by Harley Quinn in the most stupid way imaginable. They killed the entire Justice League for no reason. The characters were horrible. The DLC was horrible. This game fucking sucks. It is a joke. And the fact that this game was ever released is an embarrassment. They should have canceled it, quite frankly. And the only thing that they can do to salvage it is to retcon the entire game. It's that bad. There is nothing that should... They should basically announce and say, hey, we know you bought this game. We're going to refund everybody. This game is no longer canon. It does not exist in the Arkham universe. It is an Elseworld story. It takes place on Earth 3 or some bullshit like that. I mean, basically that's the only thing to do. It is at the end of the story DLC that they have in January, they step into some time portal and everybody's back alive and the Justice League is back, and then whatever. And then Rocksteady can go back to making a Batman Arkham game. This game was so bad. So bad. And now, here's the bright side of it. Because it was so bad, now David Zaslav has stepped in and said, okay, you guys have to make an Arkham game now. I mean, David Zaslav just said, okay, we're doing more Arkham. Like, you guys are done experimenting. And this is where it gets into a very complicated dynamic because, like, fans love to shit on David Zaslav, right? And the corporate suits at Warner Brothers and this and that. But, like, are we really going to argue that if the suits had gotten their way of what they wanted, which of course was to print more money and make more Arkham games, are we really going to say that would be worse than what we got? Gotham Knights was a serviceable entry, but didn't really get close to the quality of the Arkham games, in my opinion. It would have been better off for them to make an Arkham Origins 2. And, you know, I hate to say that because, again, I want to reward creativity, and they did step out on a limb and do something different. But, I mean, look, creativity is only good if the product works out, right? And if the quality of the game matches with what we want it to be, right? And that just didn't happen. I mean, Gotham Knights was mid at best, you know? It's probably a 5, 6 out of 10. It's serviceable, but not great. And Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is abysmal. I mean, I would give it a 1 or a 0 out of 10. It is the worst superhero video game ever made, by far. And to go from making Arkham City and Arkham Knight to this monstrosity is an embarrassment. And it's an absolute embarrassment. And the executives that were involved with it, the people at the top, the game director, Sefton Hill, I mean, they're ashamed. And you know they're ashamed because they left before the game came out. They wouldn't even face their creation. They wouldn't even own up to what they did. They left, and they fucking left the junior devs out to dry. They dipped before that game came out. They said, this game is going to get shit on, bro. This game fucking sucks. They knew it, too. They knew it. And they said, you know what? We could stay here and take a career hit, and then it's going to impact our next game. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to quit on our entire team and we're going to make them take the brunt of it. We're going to make our junior devs take the brunt of our shitty decisions. And that is an embarrassment. Um, period. That is just a absolute embarrassment. And I really, this might sound harsh, but I really did. I lost a lot of respect for some of those guys, to be honest with you, because when you are responsible for such a failure, you need to stick it through and own it, and you need to be the face of that failure. You don't throw your junior devs under the bus and pretend that they're at fault when everybody knows, and all the articles came out from Jason Schreier, that really they were the problem and they were the ones that wanted to do this shitty live service game. But no, they had to leave early, abandon ship. They were the first lifeboat off the Titanic, but a good captain is gonna go down with the ship. That's my opinion on it. That's what I think. So, and I know for a fact some devs at Rocksteady agree with me, but I won't name names. But I know that to be true. Okay, so look, this is just the reality of the situation here. This game was bad. It was beyond bad. And again, to go from making Arkham City and Arkham Knight to this game, and again, it's not something that I place on the junior devs. This is not, and this is where fans were wrong. Is again to my point that I just mentioned, fans are attacking, concept artists and animation artists and people doing facial animations and people making the gun designs and things like that, and they're attacking them on Twitter. It's like, hello? No, it's Sefton Hill. It's the people at the top. It's not entry level devs or even medium level or even senior devs in these areas that don't have any input over the story. They weren't the reason the story was shit. So, now, again, it's not all doom and gloom, okay? The upside of this is now we're going to get Batman Arkham back. Rocksteady's no choice. They're going to go bankrupt if they don't make Arkham, and that's a good thing. Again, I don't want, this is going to sound harsh, but I don't want their creativity right now. I want to go back to the well. I mean, honestly, I think remaking Arkham Asylum, doing a remake, I think that's a good idea, because it's just a technical job. It's just redoing the sort of facial animations and the lighting and the map design and those things. I think they can do. They're going to need to prove on the story side. And so if you're David Zaslav, you need to be bringing in a writer. You need to be bringing in Paul Dini or somebody like this to come in, write the story for this new Arkham game, and then have Rocksteady execute the technical elements of it. That's your best bet moving forward. You have the infrastructure and you have a phenomenal universe. And so what Rocksteady has to do now is they have to bring in people who actually like the Arkham games. You can't have people who want to tear down the Arkham universe. This is something we've seen a lot in a lot of franchises. Star Wars to me is a notable example, in my honest opinion. And I do think the Star Wars sequel trilogy tried to distance itself from the original 6 films and tried to sort of subvert expectations and do some weird things that sort of didn't honor the original content, and when you look at things that have done incredibly well, you look at the Batman, which is a very faithful interpretation. You look at Dune, which is a very faithful interpretation of the book. I think people are a little bit over the subverting expectations, doing the crazy thing that no one's expecting. Oh, what if we kill Batman and the Flash and Superman in our game? I mean, or what if we don't? Let's maybe not do that, right? I mean, it's not like we've had Superman or Flash in the Arkhamverse for so long and that we're okay with them being killed or something. I mean, we've never even gotten a game with them. Okay, so I think this ultimately is a good thing, short-term pain for long-term gain. We're now going to course correct and go in the right direction. I think David Zaslav is going to right the ship. I can't believe I'm saying that because I've been a critic of David Zaslav, but he's correctly observing that we need to get a top-down leadership coming in, and he needs to straighten the ship, and he needs to take over creative control, because when we gave the creative control to Rocksteady, it backfired, and they cannot be trusted with that at this point. So we need to bring in people to correct the ship, and I'm confident that David Zaslav is going to do that. And again, there is only one thing that they can do that will make this game salvageable, and that is to completely undo it, completely reverse it, remove it from the canon completely, announce it publicly on Twitter that the game is not canon, and have the final piece of DLC where the entire plot of the game is reversed. Anything short of that is not acceptable, because that would mean that Batman died in the way that he did, Superman died in the way that he did. I don't care that they brought back the Flash, one character. And by the way, I'd love to know, where is all these guys, I'm not going to name names, but I think you all know who I'm talking about. Where are all these guys on Twitter who were saying, oh, you just don't get the vision. They're going to make the story great. All this DLC is going to come. It's all going to make sense. You're just impatient and stupid. What happened? Where is this amazing DLC content that fixed the game? Where is it, bro? I was told repeatedly, and I was ratioed on Twitter, by the way, and it doesn't bother me. Look, I mean, I'm used to it. This is it's just a video game. You know, we talk about this stuff for fun. I don't take any of the things personally. I got attacked, you know, in 2015 over certain things with the Arkham Knight DLC, and I made a video saying Arkham Origins isn't canon. That got hundreds of thousands of views, and I got hate on that for years, which I don't agree with that anymore. I mean, come on, I was 15 years old when I said that. Give me a break, guys, okay? Everyone makes mistakes. No, but so I'm used to the criticism and whatever, but I mean, I was raked over the coals, guys, on Twitter. I really was. I was raked over the coals. It didn't impact me at all because I knew I was right the whole time, and I was saying this before the game came out. And I was getting ratioed in these clowns on Twitter who claim to have inside sources and are leaking the source code. No, it's gonna fix everything. No, this game's gonna be great, and just wait for the DLC to come. The DLC made the game worse. How is that even possible? How do you make the game worse? Oh my god. I just can't believe this game took 9 years of Rocksteady to make. OMG. What a disaster, bro. What a disaster. Like, you couldn't have drawn it up any worse. I mean, can you come up with anything that would be worse than this game? Like, you'd have to really try. You'd have to really, really, really try. And then it's like, okay, all right, let's get some DLC characters in there. The first character is Mrs. Freeze. Mrs. Freeze, bro, what? And then, oh my god, I just can't. I can't with these people. Holy shit. So, okay, I mean, I could read about this for hours, but look, we're gonna course correct. Everything's gonna be fine. David Zaslav is gonna come in, straighten the ship. I believe in that because David Zaslav cares about the money. And right now, this is a rare instance, in my opinion, where the money aligns with what the fans want. It's not a rare instance, but sometimes it's overdone in Hollywood, right? Where we get 57 Fast and Furious movies, and, you know, sometimes the profit incentive can fuck up the creative process. But in this case, they're going to make an Arkham game. It's going to make a shit ton of money. And David Zaslav, and we as the fans are going to get a better product, and they're going to make more money. So everybody wins. WB makes more money. Fans get a better game, everyone's happy. Versus this last game, we got a shit game and they got no money. They got negative $200 million. That's what they got. So, yeah, I mean, good riddance to this game. They should have canceled it earlier. Again, they just need to release a cutscene. Just give us a 5-minute cutscene that say, psych. They can put it on the text. They can, on screen. They say, psych, this game didn't happen. You know, and that's just the boom. Okay, done. We move on, uninstall the game, remove it from the store. Delist the servers, get the servers out for all. I'm sorry to the 12 people playing the game, but you're not going to have servers anymore. And by the way, if you like this game, that's wonderful. I'm really not. That's fine. Okay, I'm not here to argue with you and say that you shouldn't like the game if you like the game. If you like the game, then that's wonderful. Okay, I genuinely don't know how you like it, but I'm not saying that to be rude. I just don't understand. I'm like cognitively incapable of grasping how anyone enjoys the game. My neurons just cannot propriocept that reality. So, but you're not wrong. It's an opinion, okay? And I'm not right or wrong in saying the game is shit. It's just my opinion. And so if you love the game, that's wonderful. I hope they don't. I just said delist the game. I hope they don't delist it. I hope they preserve the game. I think it's stupid that games are removed from the store altogether. I think that's super dumb. People should be allowed to play it, and we have to preserve the memory of how bad the game is for the people that want it. I think it's like 2 cents on the Xbox store. The $100 version. I'm pretty sure you can get it for $5. That's like not an exaggeration. So yeah, man. I mean, this is one of the biggest. It's kind of hard to have a certain perception on it because we're in it right now. But I mean, there's going to be YouTube video essays made on this in 5 years about this being one of the biggest disasters in gaming history. This is one of the biggest flops of all time. And again, it's not just like worse games are made. Okay, worse games have been made. But the fall off is what makes this the worst game ever made, in my opinion. It's the fall off from Arkham from making great games, some of the best video games ever made, to making this. That's what makes it the worst superhero game ever made. But you know, the gameplay is fun for about 30 minutes, and then it gets exhausting, just shooting NPCs over and over again. But yeah, man, I'm excited to move on. I'm excited to get Wonder Woman in, and then have the team shift to Arkham. But again, David Zaslav, you need to be in charge of this situation. You need to be bringing in the writers, bringing in the creative oversight, and we need to sort of get guardrails around this creative process. That's my honest opinion on it. So anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I guess a negative video, but again, kind of not, because the positive of it is we hit rock bottom, okay? And like a gambler who lost all their money at the casino, you know, it takes hitting rock bottom sometimes to rebound and go to Gambling's Anonymous or whatever it's called, you know. And I'm not trying to make light of people that have a gambling issue or something, but you know what I'm saying. There is some beauty in hitting rock bottom, because then you're really able to make change. You're really, really able to look forward into the future and say, okay, enough is enough. We've got to course correct here. And I think that Warner Brothers is at that point. So I think in the long run, it is going to benefit us. But man, it's been a tough couple of years. Thank you guys for watching. And I'm curious to know your thoughts on this video in the comments. I'll be reading your comments. Thank you guys. Bye.